And we begin with breaking news tonight at 5:30 related to the Delphi murders.
In a years-long investigation into the murder of two young teen girls in Delphi, Indiana.
He's representing Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. They're now calling for the removal of Special Judge Francis Gall.
Two girls, a love story, and some unknown enemies. February 14th, 2017 was a day marked by hatred against love. The Delphi city of Indiana was famous for its beautiful parks and gardens, but the murders of 2017 revealed another side of the city that is referred to as Delphi Murders. Investigators characterized the Delphi murders as nothing more than legal chaos, but for the people, it was never this cold case. Today's story will blow your mind. Let me untangle the strings around the case of Delphi murders. A small city, Delphi, in Carroll County, Indiana, has a population of not more than 3,000. The city was not very famous, but after the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, it gained a lot of traction from all over the nation. Delphi City has encountered many other crimes, but the dual homicide raised a question on humanity. Hearts were full of fear and grief, but they kept their faith in the law enforcement of Indiana. Since their deaths, the Delphi community has conducted various events and built a memorial park to remember the Delphi daughters. Abby, aged 13 years, and Libby, aged 14 years, 8th graders, were best friends. Their friendship started after both played volleyball together as teammates in 7th grade. Libby was the daughter of Carrie Timmons German, but was raised by her grandparents Becky Patty and her husband Mike Patty since she was 3 years old. Libby's grandfather was so close to her that he considered her as his best friend. Abigail Williams was the daughter of Anna Williams. Abby and Libby liked arts, music, and playing softballs. Lucy Hubbard, the great-aunt of Abby, recalled the great friendship between her only niece Abby and Abby's grandfather Cliff Williams. Cliff used to call Abby Bumblebee. Here comes the doomsday for them. On 13th Feb 2017, Abby and Libby were coming back after they visited Libby's elder sister. She even saw them off at Monon High Bridge in their native city. They were using their phone and clicking some pictures on Snapchat. They snapped the video of Libby walking the bridge and shared it on their Snapchat story. They were going to meet German's father. The family was expecting them before evening, but when they didn't arrive, they suspected. Abby and Libby were reported missing at 5:30 p.m. Initially, the families searched for the girls themselves before calling the police. The officers then started the search, but didn't suspect any foul play in their disappearance. Girls were having their time, but what made them disappear from the bridge in their native city? Something suspicious happened in the meantime when they were crossing the bridge. The bridge was located in the woods, a place far from city noise and people. Girls must have suspected a passing-by person. Liberty showed her presence of mind and recorded a video of the person saying, "Guys down the hill," and then they went down the hill with him. The 4-second clip was enough to show how the person appeared. The video was one of the first pieces of evidence the police were able to get about the crime. Without any delays, the PD did what they had to. The next day, 14th Feb, the search resumed rigorously with police, volunteers, canine units and dive teams. Based on their last known location, police searched all around the bridge. Their bodies were found 50 miles away from the bridge at noon. The condition of the bodies was merciful. Both of the girls were stabbed by a knife or some other sharp object. Killer undressed them before placing their bodies at the spot they were found. Libby was wearing Abby's clothes. Her body had no drops of blood, however, Abby was naked. The killer had also written the letter F on the tree next to their bodies with their blood. Abby's underwear and socks were also missing from the crime scene. Investigators believed that they were probably taken as a souvenir by the killer. The letter F on the tree is considered a sign of Odinism. Odinism is an ancient Nordic religion that worships Norse gods like Odin and Thor. Odinists sometimes slaughter animals as sacrifices to the gods during rituals in the woods. Investigators suspected the murders of a ritualistic sacrifice in the woods. After the identification of the bodies as Abby and Libby, at 2:33 p.m, police held a press conference and announced that the bodies found were of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. The announcement scared the whole community. The whole city got chills and was terrified of the lone bridge. The bodies were sent for autopsy. but the results and cause of death were not revealed by the police. This is still a mystery. Why was it never revealed? Along with the bodies of Abby and Libby, police found a phone that belonged to Libby. The phone that they were using to click pictures and videos on the second highest bridge of Delphi, the Manon High Bridge. Police found the video of the guy they made while passing through the bridge, and that was found to be the last video recorded on their phone. Based on the visual, police sketched the suspect and circulated it in a press conference they held on 22nd Feb 2017. Police thanked the Delphi community for their commitment and support throughout the case, and also asked for any tips regarding the case. Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter says, "There's a person out there that knows who did it, not a hunch. They know who that person is," said Carter. "They know that voice, and they know those clothes. They know that posture. They know that stance, and they know who murdered those two little girls in that quiet place." They explained the sketch as a person between the ages of 16 to 40. After the conference, police received more than 27,000 tips. Still, there were no arrests made in the case. On 30th of October 2022, the media was blown away by the positive update from the case. Police arrested a person aged 50 in the case, but no other information was given about the person, but a name, Richard Allen. Do you remember how police explained the suspect in the sketch? They said the suspect is of age 16 to 40, but the arrest made was of age 50. The Delphi community regained their hopes and the families of the victims were happy. The crime scene had an unspent bullet shell 2 meters away from the bodies. The shell matched the gun found in the house of the suspect on October 13th. On investigation, he said, he never allowed anyone to use his gun. When the investigator asked him about the unspent gun, he said he didn't know about the unspent bullet. He also denied any knowledge of Victim 1 and Victim 2. Investigators found numerous things on Allen's property, including boots, multiple knives and sweatshirts that suspected him as the killer in the Delphi murders. Allen was arrested based on all the things found on his property and was sent for later prosecution. He was kept in jail for trial. There, he was not cooperating with the police. After Indiana police got through his phone calls on the jail calls, they heard he accepted committing the crime 2 to 5 times on his call to his mother and wife on 3rd April 2023. He mentioned he had committed the crime he was being charged with. After his confession on calls and the letters he wrote confessing his crimes, the case moved further to court in front of a judge. He was asked about his motive behind the murders. The whole court and people following the case were eagerly waiting to know the motive behind the murders. He stated in the court he was against people in love with persons belonging to other races. The girls were not the problem, but the reason was one of the girls' parent. They were in love with a person of another race. The defense team described the murder as a ritualistic sacrifice. Richard Allen was awarded the death penalty for double murder in 2017. If convicted on all 4 counts of murder, he can only be sentenced on 2 murder counts, and all 4 charges carry the same possible sentence, between 45 and 65 years in prison. Additionally, the kidnapping charges carry a possible prison sentence of between 3 and 16 years if convicted, according to Indiana law. The case is still active, and Allen's attorneys are asking the judge to deny the death penalty. Abigail Williams and Liberty German have got justice. The city has regained the hope of safe lives for them and their children. The murder in 2017 in a city so small that it didn't even have a good restaurant garnered attention from the whole nation. And the world is reaching its conclusion in 2024. The killer has been sentenced to the death penalty, and the victims got their justice. But the case has been a legal chaos. The police had the audio, video, and sketch, but they released them after longer time spans. They were finally able to solve the case after 6 long years, going through almost 50,000 tips and grabbing the attention of a whole nation. This is what we all thought, but the trial is now postponed to October 2024, so let's meet in October 2024. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you haven't heard our thoughts on Gypsy Rose case, you will be astonished to know the truth.